Friday, right? It's Thursday. Don't say that. Don't gaslight me. But you're so cute when you're gaslit. What's wrong? You've barely touched your non-poison food. So for anyone that doesn't know, there was a streamer recently that was, I want to say caught, but it's obvious from the start, so I don't think caught is the right word. And with how blatant this attempt at a blindfolded speedrun at a Monster Hunter monster was, I feel like this was the plan the whole time. Karl Jobst made a video on it. Before we do though, I want to show everybody what a real blindfolded run looks like via Bubzia. If anybody's curious, Bubzia blindfolded speedruns. He recently, about a year ago, did Mario 64 120 star, completely blindfolded, and it's actually really cool. It's the only speedrun I've watched that I was genuinely intrigued by and actually cared for. Because it was interesting seeing how esoteric this speedrun became, if that makes any sense. Like, power of echolocation, muscle memory, and strats. All echolocation.
I think I got super good RNG here.
But most of what you'll notice in this versus the person in the Karl Jobst video is everything is purposeful. Everything is to assist in lining up the next path that needs to be followed.
Hey SL, so, remember the gobby bag brown guy? Well, it was a small tone off my Sumarai glam's clothes. Tragedy.
No! Dude, that's the worst.
What? Oh my god.
Okay, now that we know what a real blindfolded speedrun looks like, enjoy the anime. I'm gonna take my anxiety medication. Go watch QueenPwnzalot. It's really good.
Hello, you absolute legends. War. War never changes. And neither does pretending to play a video game blindfolded for clout. It's a tale as old as time, and 60% of the time, it works every time. In theory, it's the perfect plan. First, cover your eyes with a thin sheet of material, thin being the key word. I can't stress enough that if the material is too thick, you won't be able to see, which will make it very hard to play the game. Then, you pretend to do something that otherwise wouldn't take much skill. For example, beat Super Mario 64 or beat one relatively difficult boss. Once completed, and this step is also quite critical, pretend to act surprised. You really want to milk this part as much as possible. Talk about how much you can't believe it and how nervous you are.
Is Electron actually that hard? I haven't fought the latest monster edition to Monster Hunter World at all. I didn't know they added a new monster. What rank do you need to be to even fight it? Couldn't tell you? Well, then, look, why did I ask the question then? Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be out this year. Haven't done it, but it's been called difficult. Man, I haven't even beaten Blue Nergigante. Not very Nergigante. Whoa. Blue Teostra. What's her name? Kushala Daora is the bronze dragon that uses the power of the wind. What is Teostra's blue counterpart? It starts with a K. Wow, I haven't played Monster Hunter in forever.
Post a clip of your achievement to the subreddit of a popular streamer, preferably one who doesn't know much about blindfolded runs and wouldn't immediately know it's obviously fake. If you're lucky, they'll watch it on stream, and if your plan has come this far, congratulations, you're now internet famous. Your feat will go down in history as one of the all-time greats. However, I must warn you, this plan comes with great risk.
You can't.
If your fake run gets too popular, it may be seen by someone who actually knows a thing or two about blindfolded blindfolded speedrunning, and if this happens, you're absolutely screwed. Now, your internet fame is for a different reason, and before you know it, obscure speedrunning channels are making videos about you, racking up millions of views. Today, we will be looking at the streamer Queen Pwnzalot, who recently faked a blindfolded takedown of the dragon Alatreon in the game Monster Hunter World. Unfortunately for Queen Pwnzalot, she didn't do her research, because what she produced was one of the most unrealistic fakes I've ever seen. In today's video, we are going to take a look at her run, and I'll explain why it's fake. And if you've never tried to do a blindfolded run before, you'd probably miss this one crucial detail that makes her gameplay simply impossible. And while you're here, please do me a favor and subscribe. I am dangerously close to 1 million subs, and
Okay, Karl Jobst. All right. You know what? I even like the video. There we go. I don't buy that she was trying to get one over on people. I'm too cynical when I see drama online. I'm always thinking of people making up tension and sticking points in videos or any content they make to play the clout game. I know there are people that genuinely think that they can get away with, something like this, but I'm also very skeptical of almost excusing the ignorance for malice card. It's like, I don't buy that it's ignorance most of the time. I feel like it's clout game. Maybe I'm being too cynical.
Would mean a lot. But I really hope you enjoy. Now, legends, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, so naturally, me and my lovely wife went out for dinner. Anyone who knows me knows I like to have a drink, so of course, I decided to wet my whistle. I didn't want to feel miserable the next day though, which is why I started the night with today's video sponsor, ZBiotics.
We're gonna skip the ad, I'm sorry.
Trying to convincingly fake a blindfolded run of anything is extremely difficult. Until you actually sit down for hours trying to do something without looking, it's almost impossible to truly understand the hurdles and problems you're going to face. This is why when someone does pretend to play without looking, it's usually immediately apparent it's not legitimate. People who don't do enough research into blindfolded runs, or who haven't really spent a lot of time doing them, don't know what is or isn't possible, and they don't know what is or isn't reasonable.
Did you guys watch this? Did you guys watch this guy? I haven't watched this one. I did see that he also got flamed really hard in the speedrunning community. A few months, I think it was a few months back. It might be about a year ago at this point. Wow, if it's been over a year, I'm sitting here in my head saying a few months back. This year has gone way too fast. Whoa, I feel like it was 2 months ago that I saw this guy. I don't even remember his name. I just remember seeing him.
Blindfolded runs, or who haven't really spent a lot of time doing them, don't know what is or isn't possible, and they don't know what is or isn't reasonable. One trap people can easily fall into is assuming that if you've practiced something a lot in general, that means you might be able to do it blindfolded. But this is far from true. Ask any world-class speedrunner, and they will tell you that it doesn't matter how much you practice something with your eyes open, doing it blind is a totally different beast. The streamer we are looking at today,
I played a lot of Jack and Daxter.
Didn't understand this concept. When it comes to the game Monster Hunter, she's an expert, and she's especially good at battling the monster Alatreon, which is one of the hardest fights in the game. She has killed it over 4,500 times, and she even calls herself the Alatreon Queen. She's definitely skilled at this fight, and she assumed that because she's good at this fight, it's plausible that she could do it blindfolded. And if she did do it blindfolded, that'd be really cool. Difficult gaming feats can get a huge amount of attention on YouTube or Reddit, so there is definitely a lot of incentive to do them. The 12th of January would be the day it happened. Queen Pwnzalot had been practicing, and she was ready to blow the world away. Now, I'm going to give you a huge spoiler warning. If you don't want to know how this story ends, please stop watching now. But the big M. Night Shyamalan twist...
You guys okay with spoilers? Do we need to go watch the original first? I'm gonna make an audible call and say we're okay with spoilers here. What class is she playing? We're good. I want you to spoil me harder. Bro, you can't. I see you trying to slip that in there. I see you trying to slip in me saying that and immediately following it up with an ara ara. I see that. I see you. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I'm back. Welcome back, Leo. Are you going to do it? I just did it. I slipped it in there. I gave you the ara. And if I wave my hand in front of my iPhone, my face tracking freaks out, which is really annoying. Oh my god, if I had an iPhone face mount, I could actually like do this in front of my face and my hand tracking wouldn't freak out. Why are the iPhone helmets so expensive? I gave you the ara. Are you not satisfied? If I gift some subs, can I get a special ara? If you use some channel points, you can get an ara. I can't treat people differently if there's a channel point redeem for it. That would be parasocial of me.
Is that she can actually see through her blindfold. I mean,
Gasp.
we can see through her blindfold when she puts it on or takes it off.
Like here's why I don't think I'm being too cynical. This is too obvious. I'm sorry. This is too obvious. In my brain I go clout game, clout chase. This is gonna cause drama. I should say it. This is gonna cause drama. I should do it. And you ride that wave.
This is why whenever you go to fake blindfold school, they teach you on day one never to put a light source directly behind you. When she puts the blindfold on, she does it very carefully, making sure that there is only one thin layer of fabric between her eyes and the monitor. You can even prove this to yourself by pulling your shirt over your eyes, and you'll see that you can easily see straight through it. Before she even starts playing, we already know this is fake. Her gameplay, however, is so unrealistic, it's shocking that anyone ever took this seriously.
No. God, that's a cool. Is that display in the background? Is this a display piece or like a poster? Can Karl get out of the way, please? There we go. That's a really cool Ranger display, I guess. That's really cool though.
Queen Pwnzalot is a comic book superhero. She is the living incarnation of the Marvel character Daredevil. Just by sound alone,
This movie was so bad.
Alatreon is at all times. And going further, not only does she know where Alatreon is, she knows exactly where its head is. Normally in blindfolded runs, people will use the lock-on feature to face enemies. With lock-on, the game automatically faces you towards the monster, so it eliminates all of the guesswork. And honestly, with lock-on, Alatreon isn't a hard fight to do blindfolded. It's been done before. But Queen Pwnzalot doesn't use lock-on at all. Instead, she just freeballs the entire fight. There's a good reason she doesn't use lock-on actually, and that's because if she used the automatic aiming function, she wouldn't be able to target Alatreon's head, and she needs to hit the head in order to do enough damage with the weapon and strategy she's using.
I'm gonna say it for the whole video, but not using lock-on, the strat she's going for, like her dodging the crystals earlier, if anybody saw it, it's all too blatant. I don't buy that this wasn't on purpose. The Doom and Fallout New Vegas posters were great. Also the Diablo boxes. It was a cool backdrop. I like Karl Jobst, his little like recording area. Heard the Daredevil series was great. I haven't heard anything bad about it. That original Daredevil movie from the early 2000s is ass. It is terrible though. It is not good, and it's, I don't even know if it's like enjoyable in a so bad it's good kind of way at all. Elektra's terrible. I will say the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry is hilariously bad. Like it's so good it's bad, or it's so bad it's good. The real on purpose is the friends we made along the way. Look, if she would double down after this and like own that it was fake the whole time, maybe, I don't know how many friends we're going to get along the way out of this though.
Queen Pwnzalot claims that by using directional sound, she can locate the position of the dragon.
Not how that
And
works.
it's true that humans can determine the general direction a sound comes from, and even to an extent, the distance. But there is a reason Daredevil is a superhero with his ability to locate things using sound. It's because humans can't do that effectively or reliably. We aren't bats or dolphins. When it comes to blindfolded gaming, this has been tried and tested for decades. It's simply not possible, and no one can do it. Blindfolded gamers do not rely upon sound in this way.
This is why I'm gonna pull in my Counter-Strike experience from the good old days when my reaction time was way faster. Map knowledge and things are important to support your audio cues. Your audio cues only point you in the general direction. They're never gonna point you to like exactly where something is. Map knowledge will though, and predictability of other players or the AI will, but Monster Hunter's not that type of game. Curb your expectations. You'll love the follow-up. Okay, we'll get there.
They always use consistent setups or automatic aiming functions. It would be difficult enough using real sound in the real world, let alone the less precise inputs from a video game played through headphones. And yet, what's super interesting is that the true extent of just how unfeasible this task is will be lost on 99% of viewers. Many people instinctively know that humans can't pinpoint things using sound in this way. But they do know that it's theoretically possible to have some idea about what's going on. We know that if we hear something in our left ear more than our right ear, we know the sound is coming from the left. So when we watch this gameplay, it obviously looks unrealistic, but we can understand why someone might think it's possible to do. But there is something far more egregious going on here in this gameplay that almost everyone will miss, and it's hidden in plain sight. While everyone is debating the feasibility of
The actual
locating where
truth
the
is that
monster
she is
is
using the
sound,
Neuralink from
Queen
Muskie Guy,
Pwnzalot
and
is
this
doing
is just a
something
big ad for it.
So are you saying the Neuralink took her sight? Or that the Neuralink is processing the hearing better?
almost everyone will miss, and it's hidden in plain sight. While everyone is debating the feasibility of locating where the monster is using sound, Queen Pwnzalot is doing something far more impossible that you probably didn't even consider. I'm going to show you some clips and try to identify what the problem is.
The elements. Elements are effective. This is the only time you can break its horns. Disrupt its control over the elements.
I've selected some extreme examples here to highlight what's going on, but it's important to know that Queen Pwnzalot is doing this constantly at all times to some extent, probably without even realizing it. In the clips I showed, she entered the menu to use an item, and in doing so, accidentally tilted the camera to face upwards. She doesn't always tilt the camera when using items, but in these particular cases, she did. Immediately after exiting the menu, she fixes the camera, moving it back to a more neutral position.
I was looking at other things. I was looking at her dodging like crystals that weren't making noises or random environmental hazards.
This isn't something that is specific to her blindfolded runs either. This is a habit that she has even when she can see. It's so habitual that she kept doing it blindfolded, not realizing that you need to see in order to know you've done this. This is a problem, because there is no reliable audio cue that tells you where you're facing on the vertical axis. Why did she know she was facing up? How did she know how much she was facing up? How did she fix her camera perfectly and so quickly? How is she able to do this over and over and over
This
again?
is why I'm being cynical.
You can't tell whether you're looking up or down actually ends up being a bigger problem than locating the enemy on the horizontal axis.
This is why I'm being cynical. It works. And that's why I'm leaning towards my cynical outlook on this. It works to just clout game and do something super, what's the word that I want? Not ethically ethically questionable. What's the word I want? It's like a synonym of like drama prone or something that'll make waves. Controversial. Do something controversial and then go, whoa, what? No, I wasn't doing that. And then when called out even more, you double down again and you just milk that drama wave as much as possible. And maybe I'm wrong. So if you want some extra before going to the follow video, see this first. What is it?
There is no reason or mechanism that explains why she's able to keep the camera in a neutral vertical position the entire fight. You can easily test this yourself. Jump into a game and close your eyes. Then randomly scramble the camera position. Then try to use the audio cues to get your
because that's not
alignment
nausea-inducing.
neutral. Open your eyes and see how close you were. You'll find that you can't do this reliably, if at all. If you do manage to do this 1,000 times in a row, like Queen Pwnzalot, congratulations, you are a literal superhero. Again, this is a problem that has been faced before, and anyone who has or will ever try to do this will always end up looking at the floor or looking straight up. There is a way to center the camera and put it back to neutral by pressing a button, similar to pressing Z in Ocarina of Time, but Queen Pwnzalot never uses this, and always moves the camera with her mouse. I'm guessing she was so focused on trying to make her horizontal movement believable that she never even considered the vertical movement and just did it without thinking, but it's flat out impossible. The irony is that when using the greatsword, looking up or down achieves nothing. It doesn't let you hit higher, and it doesn't change your weapon range. The only reason to keep the camera in a neutral position would be to keep the enemy on screen, which is pointless if you're blindfolded. If you were interested in keeping the camera in a neutral position, you can simply turn off the ability to look up or down in the game setting.
You can do that? Hold on. That's okay. You know what? Everyone shits on Monster Hunter World for its release, but man, the devs really came through with the level of flexibility in those settings. There is so much flexibility in the Monster Hunter World settings for PC players. It is insane. And I assume this is on console as well. I would hope so. What a cool setting to have. I don't even know the utility of it, but that's a cool setting to have.
Which is probably a good idea if you're running this blindfolded. But of course, Queen Pwnzalot doesn't do this, and just magically knows where she is looking at all times. After she did her solo effort, about a week later, she would don the blindfold again, and this time beat Alatreon in a 4v1 group attempt. This one didn't go up on her YouTube channel and wasn't shared around, so you probably didn't hear about it, but it's even more insane. Now she has 3 other team members all making sounds too, but she's able to perfectly distinguish the dragon's sounds and know its location without any problems.
Sorry, I'm back. Welcome back.
Is so good, in fact, that she can even tell who the dragon is targeting with its attacks. Take this sequence, for example. She expertly dodges this attack when Alatreon swipes at her, an attack that doesn't even have a sound cue you can use to know it's coming. But when it turns to attack the other players, she doesn't dodge at all and even knows where the attack is going. She follows it perfectly with her camera as it's happening. She's good, man. She's real good. And she
like at a certain point when you're a large streamer and this happens, I feel like there's gotta get them simp bucks. I feel like there's okay. And this is a much deeper conversation that if we fully explore is going to take a long time. I feel like there's a difference between not following JonTron after his incredibly ignorant comments a long time ago and not following someone who is faking a blinded speedrun and then doubling down on it. Because I'll use me as an example here. I still watch JonTron's newest content. I have no interest in that, in him as a person, as an individual. I have an interest in the content that he makes. What he does outside of his content is none of my concern. You can call me morally shallow for that. You can have whatever opinion you want of me for that. When someone doesn't have integrity in the content that they make, though, I feel like that ruins the content. And that ruins all future content from them that has any sort of stakes or any sort of integrity-based condition. If that makes any sense. I feel like there's a difference between those situations. And it always has me intrigued when a creator does something like this. And people that were there for that content that obviously showed a complete lack of integrity and a complete lack of the displaying of trust between the person creating the content and the people behind the screen or the viewers. There is a lot that goes into content at a higher level. When you're a certain size, a lot of stuff is scripted. A lot of stuff is more planned out than you will ever imagine it is. And I feel like that's different because you're not lying explicitly. Your priority is to put on a good show. But when you're doing something like this, you're putting on a good show by lying. That's your attempt anyway. You're trying to put on a good show by explicitly deceiving and lying versus putting on a good show that doesn't feel scripted. And this doesn't not feel scripted. This feels essentially, to not make a pun about the blindfold being transparent, but it feels transparently deceptive. At least to me, which would make me not want to watch them anymore. Period. Imagine a future where you can choose to follow the person or their AI. You guys wouldn't stop following me, right? Over the Cell AI, right? Cell AI wouldn't have... I don't know. Don't say that. What if I ran the Cell AI? Was that third-person shooter one? Cell AI would be easier to get RRs from. Unlike you, AI, you actually responds to redeems in chat and doesn't talk shit. You know, you're probably right. Ooh, I just got really lightheaded. All right. Woo! I don't know why I just got lightheaded, but I did. Okay. We're good. But no, I don't know. It always seemed weird to me when Hey, thank you for the 5 gift subs, Leo. See, I don't have it covered this time. You can see the injection happening. Thank you, though. Appreciate you, man.
See? No sweat.
No sweat. Oh, we gotta play Metal Gear 4. Oh my god, I love Drebin. No, but like I always, again, you can have whatever opinion of me you want based on this. I feel like separating the artist from the art is almost always not a negative thing. There are extreme exceptions, but I think those exceptions, and I want to be clear here, is the art explicitly in its presentation directly and provably supporting a negative thing or a negative addition to the world. And in those cases, sure, it's hard to separate the artist from the art. But in the case of, again, like, I watched JonTron's recent Temu video that he just put out. I can separate JonTron as a person from the content. However, when the content itself is lacking in integrity, I don't understand how you can separate the lack of integrity from the art or from the content. Because watching content that is implicitly condescending to someone is not a good time to me. I'm going to go urinate. Welcome back, Jay. I hope you guys got your pee out. Hold on.
Chewbacca.
Hope you guys had your pee break. All right, let's start over. Now that you're back, my pee is big. I'm gonna let you figure that out.
She doesn't dodge at all, and even knows where the attack is going. She follows it perfectly with her camera as it's happening. She's good, man. She's real good. And she can even play like this with other monsters too. So this isn't just her being really good with Alatreon, she can do this against any opponent. She legitimately has a superpower, and scientists need to study this woman's hearing as soon as possible. On the 2nd of February, Queen Pwnzalot posted the clip of her first Alatreon blindfolded victory to her YouTube channel. A couple of days later, one of her fans posted it to the Asmongold subreddit, at which time one of her Discord moderators tagged everyone in her Discord, telling them to upvote the post. This message is amazing. Attention everyone, this is a call to arms. Our queen needs you to go and upvote the video so that Asmongold watches it. Comment on it, sing her praises, show her how much we support her. There will be many who doubt her legitimacy, but her army watched her make history live. Do your queen proud. Comment, like, share, and raise her up. This is huge. Queen's army, we march on.
There will be many who doubt her legitimacy. Is this user a mod? Or is this user someone who played on stream with her? Do they know that she was lying from the start? Because I that's not mutually exclusive. Well, that's what I mean. That's why I'm like asking. Like, I don't see the point to slip in a there will be many who doubt X thing.
That receiving a compliment when doing a stimulated activity can help improve performance even a full day afterward.
What kind of compliment do you want? I want an ara, but you redeemed compliment. I was about to tell you you're like it's super cool how nice and conversational you are with everybody in chat. But you know, now can't redeem ara though. I already gave you one. Oh wait, I made it one time per stream, right? You got to be quick. It's I don't understand this. There will be many who doubt her legitimacy. I'm just too cynical to ever take a lot of things at face value if that face value has any chance of being more nefariously misleading than it is. Don't need too many colors to be going for black collar company. I mean, look, they're already like following all of the metrics that you need in Japan to fall under the criteria basically of it being a black company. For people that don't know, a black company is a thing in the Japanese corporate world that is essentially a company that is highly exploitive of their workers. They disrespect them constantly. They have you work long hours. They have you essentially feeling like you're indebted to the company through manipulation, and you're never treated like a human being. So if anyone was curious, that's what a black company is. There's more nuance to it than that, obviously, but it's not. We're not talking about Niji Sanji on the stream, so I'm not going to go too deep into what like a black company is and like what it means in Japanese like corporate culture, et cetera, et cetera.
Shockingly, this worked, and Asmongold did in fact watch it on stream and even posted a VOD of his reaction to his YouTube channel.
I mean, listen, is it really hard to believe that somebody couldn't pull this off after 4,000 kills? I bet
Nice,
this is
Sanji.
real.
I prefer Naruto.
Gold, you beautiful soul. You innocent, naive, ignorant, beautiful soul. This ended up backfiring, as now that the clip was somewhat popular, people who actually knew how to play the game saw the clip and instantly realized it was ridiculous. The gamer Juzzy would then post a video highlighting all of the ways the gameplay was obviously fake. Asmongold would then react to this video, and ultimately he concluded that maybe she could see through the blindfold.
I think this is what the blindfold did. I think that it obscured 95%.
Did he really scribble this in paint? That had to have taken so long if he did this in paint. Husband gets away with that shit? Bro, I could do it and you guys would sit here and watch me do it. I'd leave? No, you wouldn't. You'd be here. I'll leave right now. Bye.
Or 90% of her vision. It did not completely obscure it, which allowed her to use the tiny little pixels that, you know, equivalent of pixel that she can see.
See, this is where I got to get better at my React Andying. Asma's out here just spouting the obvious of the situation of like, it left these little tiny pixels that she could see so that she could actually still function in the game properly. My amateur React Andy ass is sitting here going, everyone already knows that. I'm not going to say that. I mean, I'm bad at talking at all. No, it just takes practice. My favorite class in school has got to have been public speaking. I'm bad at public speaking, but it was weird going from a situation, like, short detour real quick. Right around, like, high school is when I was at my worst, where it was, if a cashier said hi to me, I would, like, freeze up. I could not talk to people. I still have this problem, not with cashiers and things, but elongated conversations. And I would freeze up, though, and I couldn't talk. I would just not know what to say back. I didn't know what like the right thing was. After years of therapy, after multiple psychologists and psychiatrists, well, one psychiatrist, but I digress. I no longer have that issue, but I still suck at talking to strangers. But streaming has helped immensely. Like, you guys back and forthing with me has helped immensely with my ability to talk to people I don't know. And streaming in general has helped an incredible amount. It has pushed me out of my comfort zone so many times. My very first Pokemon stream, way back when, my very first stream, I was having a panic attack the night of, like, right as we were on pre-stream. Like, I had to step away. I was pacing around my apartment. I know exactly where I was. I ended in my bathroom and I was just standing there and I was like freaking out. I don't have that anymore. I do not get I get anxious for group streams. I do not get anxious for solo streams anymore. But where I'm going with this is public speaking was so much fun because I viewed it like stream, where I was up in front of my entire class, and instead of being like scared, the first time I was a bit shaky, but the second time I had this mentality of like, you guys get to listen to the dumb bullshit I want to talk about. We're going to talk about mental health and why it's not taken seriously in the US. And you have to listen to me for 20 minutes because that's the class. You have to listen to me. So I'm going to talk to you about it. And I just had fun with it. I had a lot of fun. And I got a bunch of questions after the class of people that were wondering like how they should go about looking for psychologists in their area. And like, what if they can't afford it? And like, if I knew any solutions to that. It was really cool. It was really fun. Oh, geez, sorry. So, oh no, it's perfectly normal to like be terrified if you're going into something that is out of your comfort zone. And streaming very much is and was. Like, my comfort zone is in my bed reading manga on my phone or watching YouTube videos. But there's no like living if that's all you do. You have to be doing something, even if it's a little thing. Like you need to be the one to speak up at the cashier sometimes. You need to be the one to say hi to your server at a restaurant, or like Tell them that, like, hey, your shirt looks really cool. Hey, I like your nail polish. Like, doesn't matter. Push yourself out of your comfort zone, little tiny things. And for me, one of those tiny things, which is crazy to say it was tiny at that point, was taking a public speaking class, because I had been streaming for quite a few months at that point. I was like, oh, I could do this. It's public speaking. I do that every fucking night. That's what this is. I come on stream and I talk to you guys. And I talk at you. I do both. Sometimes I'm talking at, and sometimes we talk back and forth, and there's a conversation.
That are giving her indicators of where the boss is. So she sees the guy's arm and it's like this, and she knows, okay, well then the head's gonna be here.
Asmongold, I think you might be onto something. World-class blindfolded speedrunner Bubsia would also chime in, also declaring that her run was faked. Queen Pwnzalot,
Yeah, how'd she know to dodge that crystal?
criticisms lying down, nor would her moderators, accusing people who doubted her as just being incels who lived in their mother's basement.
Never mind the thousands of special assignments we've helped with, the thousands of hours we've spent playing this game, the thousands of times that we've killed a fucking video game dragon. Post a fun video made for friends, hashtag not a speedrun. Go back and tell your buddy how cool he is. Tell him thanks for being a dick and the world's greatest incel. Get a fucking life and move out of your mother's basement. Now, do you want to talk shit or play some games? What's the context for the rest of this?
She uploaded a video claiming that she was the victim of slander and malice. She was adamant that she really was Daredevil and really did possess superhuman hearing and the ability to know where she's looking based on nothing. She advertised an upcoming stream where she declared she was going to prove everyone wrong. When I saw this video and I saw how confident Queen Pwnzalot and her army was in the face of these accusations, I started second-guessing myself. Could everything I know about human anatomy or blindfolded gaming be wrong? Could the thousands of gamers who have dedicated themselves to blindfolded speedruns have missed something so simple? Maybe it was possible to just use your ears and play like normal. Maybe everyone had been doing it wrong the entire time.
Oh my god, we're not gonna watch this tonight. Has anybody else seen this video from NPR, where someone who called in was claiming to be a serial killer that hasn't been caught? This video is fascinating. I don't know if it's this video specifically. I don't know if this is the whole interview that they did, but the interview itself was so cool. No, I haven't. Sorry, I can't find the scribble clip. I'm too buzzed. Oh no, don't worry about it, man. What was that? Hi, Sam. Welcome in. What was what? Also, how you been, man? Been a minute. How have you been? What'd you eat today? Are you hydrated? That Discord message? It looked like, I guess, a mod responding to somebody, but I want to know the context. Here's the thing that annoys me with the internet. I'm going to go on a slight tangent, and this is why I hate Twitter. This is why I do not engage with people on Twitter. This is why, if you guys ever notice the YouTube comments, if you ever see a comment on one of the videos that I put up, that is ad hominem. And for those that don't know, ad hominem is essentially just an insult. It is commonly a statement that is resorted to when there is no actual argument to be made, and instead the only argument that you can make is an attack on somebody's character. If you ever notice any comments that just randomly disappear on the channel, I do not delete comments. I want to be clear on that. I do not delete comments. I leave up, like, any comment that disagrees legitimately, I will leave up. It's comments that bring nothing to the table in terms of conversation, that are just insulting people or obviously pushing an agenda or so biased that they lean into some extremism angle of whatever the hell they're trying to talk about. I just shadow ban them from the channel. I'm not saying I want to know the context because I think it's justified. I'm just interested in the context. I never engage with comments like that. And I never engage with responses like that on Twitter or anywhere else. And on Twitter is where you see it a lot, where someone will have some wild response where they're throwing around like incel and everything as an insult. And if you want context, the immediate thought is, well, why? Why do you need context? Obviously, the person on the other side did something fucked up. Because I feel like with that comment, it was probably a long wall that dissected exactly how she wasn't following, or how she wasn't following, how she wasn't actually blindfolded and how she was technically cheating.
blindfolded speedruns have missed something so simple. Maybe it was possible to just use your ears and play like normal. Maybe everyone had been doing it wrong the entire time. I was ready to have my entire universe blown to pieces. Honestly, I thought she was going to back out. But just like she said, on the 14th of February, she went live. This time she had a new blindfold. But before she started playing, she wanted to prove that the blindfold she was using before wasn't transparent. She used a powerful torch to show that no light was getting through. But wait a minute, this blindfold isn't the same. She's changed it. This is what it was like before. Now it's been folded up. And you can even see the seam lines where she has obviously sewn it together, and probably sewn some kind of material on the inside. The YouTuber Abisoft, who was there, asked her to unfold the blindfold, which is what it was like when she used it before, but she refused and timed him out from the chat. Even before doing this new attempt, she was gaslighting, avoiding questions, and banning people who were raising legitimate concerns.
Yeah, no, you can't just time someone out for that. Like, if you're really wanting to prove the point, if it can't be unfolded because it's been sewn, you hold it up to the camera and go, see, no, it won't unfold because it is sealed. There's no... But just timing people out is not a good look. That's what it's... Maybe I'm too cynical when I'm saying clout chasing, clout game. Yeah, maybe I am. I don't think I am, but I don't know if we'll know the full story. Wait, is this where Asmon made everybody watch us? He just scribbled this. Did you really find it? Hold on. Did you really find it? He really made...
Holy... As a minute. It's gonna take me a little bit. I gotta do this real quick.
It's clear as day she is a very dishonest person who is willing to tamper with evidence and trick people. However, while she is a dirty liar and her pants are surely on fire, she is also a magician. Her most recent attempt was amazing. She went on to beat Alatreon again with a proper blindfold on, and with paper covering her screen.
Where are we at? We're at 17 minutes. Hold on. So if her setup hasn't moved, here's my question. Why is she looking straight ahead in this one? And then at 17 minutes when she's apparently redoing it with a new blindfold, and both of her monitors are clearly in front of her, why is she looking in a completely arbitrary direction? Could I tell maybe you're onto something? And hold on. She's looking in an arbitrary direction, and then as soon as Alatreon is killed, she looks down at her main monitor again. Dead? And then she looks straight ahead again. Karl, we'll talk about that? Okay.
It was so convincing that once again, the opinion of the most important person in the world, Asmongold, had been changed.
But anyway, yeah, it looks like the Altreon blindfold kill was actually real.
I want you all to always scream at me if I say something that is, like, obviously fake is real.
It did actually happen.
But does that mean she wasn't cheating? No, it doesn't. There were many obvious signs she was still cheating, and all of the issues with the vertical aiming still exist, and are even amplified to the extreme. Plus, there were some really bizarre things that were going on as well. But in order to do this most recent attempt justice, we are going to need an entire video.
No!
Deep. Queen Pwnzalot thinks she is sneaky enough to get by me, but unfortunately for her, I see everything. So ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars calendars for February 29, and we'll find out if Queen Pwnzalot is a literal superhero who can do things no other human can, or if she's just a deceptive streamer lying to her fans and pulling off the oldest trick in the book once again. Stay tuned. Please remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
Bye, Carl. No, man, I'm like right at the edge of stream time too. I have plans tonight. Racked before FF tomorrow. So tomorrow, the plan is we'll be live at 5:30 p.m. EST. We'll watch the Juicy video. We'll watch this. We'll have our nice little React Andy arc. Then we'll continue 6.3 to 6.4.